name is Roger Arneman, and I'm the General Manager of Guidewire Analytics. We are surrounded by evidence of how rapidly the world is changing. And in response, Guidewire built the industry's first closed-loop analytics platform. We're going to show you a demo of it in action, but first recall, we built it to accelerate 3 specific market transformations. First, underwriting will continue to move from manual to progressively automated, from annual to continuous, and from risk transfer to risk management. This will enable underwriters to have continuous conversations with their customers about risk mitigation, as opposed to an annual conversation just about underwriting. Second, customer focus will become the North Star as it has in fintech. It means insurers will no longer optimize just on loss ratio, but also on net promoter score and customer satisfaction. And as we like to say, make insurers brilliant in the moment. So rest in peace to stale back office processing. Now you'll have live information at your fingertips. So let's look again at the industry's first closed-loop platform that makes insurers brilliant in the moment. First, leverage your data. With the Guidewire Data Platform, you can unlock your most precious asset, which is your own underwriting and claims data. And by putting that data into a platform, you can run a powerful ecosystem of applications, whether Guidewire, third-party, or your own. And you can do contextual risk comparison to look at risks from an underwriting or claims perspective and compare them to ones you've seen in the past that are similar. Second, enrich your insight. The Science Data Listening Engine captures a whole bunch of information that's useful to an underwriting and claims process, including behavioral and non-obvious data. But we also take that information and we distill it down into risk factors and exposure signals by line of business to answer specific business questions. And with Compare, you can analyze your portfolio against different parts of itself or against your peers with syndicated data. Third, embed intelligence. With predictive analytics, you can bring insight to the edge. You can build, deploy, and monitor models, bring your own models, and use your favorite open source tools. Fourth, learn continuously. This allows for continuous underwriting instead of only underwriting on an annual basis. You can track the performance of your portfolio by looking at live KPIs, and you can refine your models with the outcomes of existing models, so you're constantly making them better. And quantify your intuition using hypothesis A/B testing. There are 2 elements of the closed loop to remember. First, it's like a flywheel, and the more pieces of the loop that you do, they speed up and compound each other. Second, the closed loop turbocharges your core capability. I would like to highlight our product Compare as Guidewire's best kept secret. We all want to understand our performance and how to improve. Compare answers questions like, how do I improve my loss ratio, grow profitably, or understand how costs and cycle times have changed during COVID. To achieve this, Compare securely powers claims comparisons against peers and yourself, creates custom aggregation groups through advanced filters, collects and anonymizes individual claims each night, so you can say goodbye to static monthly reports. Compare is available for ClaimCenter customers and has been since 2012. Everyone can compare against their own portfolio. For peer comparison, there is a minimum participation. You can go live in 1 day with Compare, so why not join the Compare community today? Now Matt will show us how the closed loop makes you brilliant in the moment.
Thanks, Roger. And thank you guys for joining us for this March Connections session. Back in November during Connections, a few of my colleagues unveiled a new feature within ClaimCenter called Autopilot for Claims. In their demo, they showed that our policyholder, Jess, was driving her car when she struck a tree. She was fine, but the car certainly had damage. From there, analytics takes over. Within a matter of seconds, as you're seeing this demo, she gets a settlement offer for her claim. During this demo, we'll give you a peek behind the curtain of how our closed-loop analytics platform is driving that autopilot workflow we just saw. Now, while Autopilot and some of the other features and functionality you see today are available for Guidewire Cloud customers, self-managed customers can achieve similar functionality with a services project. Now, before you go through the expense of making a workflow change, the first thing you're going to want to do is understand if you have a problem. And the best way to do this is with Guidewire's Compare. Within Compare, you can assess your claims results against those of a peer benchmarking group. Now typically, the person using this will be a claims executive or a business analyst working on behalf of that claims executive. So let's say I'm a claims executive and I sat through that November Connections demo and I start asking myself the following questions. Do I have a problem with my initial claim segmentation? Is my organization able to quickly and effectively determine which vehicles are total losses and should be sent to a salvage yard, and which ones are available for straight-through processing and should go to a garage for repair? Compare lets you do that sort of assessment. The demo we're showing here is going through that asking and answering process. Well, the results are in, and unfortunately for us, Compare is showing that we do have a problem. Specifically, it's showing that we have a problem in 3 specific areas. 1, I close my claims in a longer amount of time than my peer benchmark group. 2, I close a smaller percentage of them within 30 days. And then 3, I'm actually spending more on my expenses than my peer group. We suspect that we're having trouble identifying total loss vehicles early in the claims process, and as a result, are sending vehicles to body shops that sit there and are later identified as total losses. We believe that with our volume, if we can improve our performance to the benchmark level, we could save our company almost $10 million a year. Okay, so that's the bad news. My organization clearly has a problem. The good news is, with the help of the closed-loop analytic platform, we can address this issue. We can get pre-built modeling data sets quickly into predictive analytics. We can augment that with third-party data. We can then build and quickly deploy models. And then finally, we can embed those models back into ClaimCenter. And that's the important part, because that's where we actually impact the workflow without an adjuster ever having to leave their desktop. So let's see how that's done. So at this point, the claims executive is going to enlist the help of their data scientist or their actuaries. And their first job is to get data in a modeling format into predictive analytics. As this demo is showing, with just a few clicks, we can get a prepped total loss modeling data set off the data platform and into predictive analytics. Step 1 is done. Step 2 is to enhance that data with targeted third-party data. What we found is that if we take historical core data and enhance it with third-party data, that our modeling outcomes are much better. What this demo flow is showing is that we're enhancing our total loss data set with vehicle information from the NHTSA, or the National Highway Transportation and Safety Administration. Now, while this is very specific to this claims use case, this is the exact same approach that you would do on the underwriting side, and specifically for enhancing for science for small business data. Okay, great. We've finished the first 2 steps in our process. We've taken historical core data and we've augmented it with targeted, relevant third-party data. The third step is to build models and deploy them. And we do this the same way we have done for years within predictive analytics. My data scientists and actuaries would go in, build multiple models, look at the results, pick the winners, wrap them up into a solution, and deploy them into an API. Now at this point, this is very important. We can now embed those results back into the core. Okay, so at this point, the job of my data scientists and actuaries is over, and they hand the baton back over to my business side. So if I'm a business analyst within ClaimCenter, I would work with my ClaimCenter partners, and I would go to the Analytics tab within ClaimCenter. This is the spot where we can connect that newly deployed model and embed it back into ClaimCenter. So at this point, the business analyst can go through and decide what information they want all of their adjusters to see on the screen. They can also make sure that the right information is going up to that scoring model and that the right data is coming back. When the business analyst is satisfied, they simply hit save and they enable the solution. Now note, this is really important. At this point, the solution is live. There's no need to redeploy ClaimCenter. And as this demo is showing, the very next claim that comes in the door gets scored with this solution. And again, this is incredibly important because this is what allows us to get the right data to the right person at the right time. And more generally, it's not so important exactly what you're seeing on the screen or what this specific use case is showing. What's important here is that we've used the power of the closed loop in conjunction with ClaimCenter business rules and in conjunction with Autopilot to impact our initial claim segmentation. At this point, we're much more confident to send cars that we deem as total losses to a salvage yard, to send those that we know that can be fixed to a garage, and that human intervention is only required for those sticky ones in between. So one of the other things that we found during our modeling process is that we're not getting the best information at first notice of loss. We want to change our intake form. We realized that if we can add just one more question, we'll get much better outcomes. With the power of autopilot, what we're showing here is we can change that intake form to ask the question of whether or not the car was equipped with automatic emergency braking. What we recognize is that if we can add this to every claim that comes in the door, this is more information for our models, and as our closed loop continues to fly around as a flywheel, we'll get much better outcomes over time. Now finally, when you change your workflow, you're obviously going to want to monitor it. And again, this can be done through the power of an autopilot dashboard. What we're showing on the screen is where every claim is within the process. This will allow us to quickly identify bottlenecks and to make enhancements and tweaks as we go along. Finally, let's end this closed loop journey where we began, which is in compare. It's been 14 days, which isn't a long time, but it's enough for us to be able to compare our results with this new workflow compared to our old workflow. We can also take the next step of comparing our results with this new workflow with our peer benchmarking group. This demo is walking through that process. Well, the results are in. By taking this journey around the closed loop, identifying a problem, using pre-built modeling datasets, enhancing them with targeted, relevant third-party data, building and deploying predictive models, and embedding them back into the workflow, we have turned our problem around, and we are well on our way to saving our targeted $10 million a year. I hope you found this peek behind the curtain of our closed-loop analytic platform helpful, and I'll turn it back to you, Roger.
Okay, Matt, that's awesome, but let's see if it really is that easy. Let's start with compare. Is it difficult to implement?
No, it isn't. You simply just turn it on. And let me add a little bit to that. Compare is available as soon as you're live on ClaimCenter. So as you're getting ready for your go live date, you contact us and ask us to turn it on for you. At that point, you'll have instant access to your claim metrics. And then we can work with you over time to standardize your LOBs and coverages so you can then start seeing your benchmark performance.
And how do analytic data sets automatically appear in predictive analytics?
Yeah, good question. This is just another advantage of Guidewire Cloud. All of the data that's going through Guidewire Cloud is landing securely in the Guidewire Cloud data platform. From there, with certain permissions, predictive analytics has access to that. What we've done is use our expertise over the years to build out 3 modeling data sets that are available out of the box for our customers. These are going to be available in the Cortina release. We are also actively working on policy data sets, and we will rapidly expand this over time.
And what if I want data from Guidewire systems that's not in the out-of-the-box data set?
Yeah, it's a good question. We're actively developing a product we call Data Studio. When it's available, it will allow our customers to customize their queries and publish them back into the data platform, at which point it's available for predictive analytics. The goal is to deliver this feature for early access in the Cortina release.
And the demo focused on US auto claims. Is underwriting as easy?
Yeah, we've integrated our Science for Small Business offering so that you can augment your underwriting data sets with over 100 risk scores. We found that when you do this, you get much better modeling outcomes. Also, this is going to be something that we continue to invest in over time. If we see data out there that's useful for our customers, we're going to continue curating it. Also, if there's something that you see that's not on our platform, you can also bring it in via predictive analytics.
And what if I want to bring my own models? Do I have to rebuild those models?
Nope. If you have models that you've built outside the system and you want to bring them into the closed loop, you can do so through a feature called BYOM, or bring your own model.
Matt, thank you for showing us how easy it is to get started using the closed loop. We're excited about the results we have already delivered to many of you as customers. And remember, you can be live with Compare in just one day. This is how we make you brilliant in the moment. You know Guidewire for our core systems. It's time to look at us for analytics. Now that Matt has exhausted my questions, let's answer yours.